Hello whovians, how are you all doing today, and welcome to this brand new video. So today we are going to be reviewing School Reunion. So roll titles. This episode's plot is about a school that has some alien activity going on. So the Doctor, Rose and Mickey actually investigate it until the Doctor meets an old friend he wouldn't really expect to meet. Now this episode is very special just for the fact that it brings the classic series in the new series. It basically says to the audience, look, the classic series is still like a canon thing that we still remember, and even if you're a young viewer, the series Sarah Jane Adventures actually came out, did reference a lot of these old episodes, so even kids knew back then about classic series. But if you didn't know, School Reunion brings back Sarah Jane Smith, the 3rd Doctor's and 4th Doctor's companion, but also came back in for the 5 Doctors and also a girl's best friend. But Sarah Jane Smith in this episode was absolutely fantastic. David Tennant and Elizabeth Sladen have such great chemistry together, and I especially love the shot where the Doctor first sees Sarah Jane. She's walking down the hallway and you see that long panning shot of the TARDIS and the glowing illuminating light. It's such a beautiful shot, and the lines David Tennant says straight after that makes me really love that scene and this episode in a whole. Also, this serial brings back K9, so seeing the Doctor's reaction to K9 all over again from his 4th incarnation, since it's been that long since he's seen it, it's quite a thing. So that's a fantastic scene, and you can tell David Tennant's fanboying so much during this because the 5th Doctor was generally his Doctor, but he did watch a few 4th Doctors back in the day. But I suppose I have to talk about the threat in this episode, and that is the Krillitane and the leader, Mr. Finch. But these creatures are absolutely fantastic. They are great villains, and in a way, the Doctor can relate to these villains, as they are the last of their species, and the Doctor is the last of his species when this was first filmed. I think that's what gives this episode way much more relatability to the Doctor and the villains, and that's what gives them so much more chemistry. And while we're on the subject, I need to talk about Mr. Finch. Mr. Finch is a fantastic villain. He has that charm to him, and especially when he's trying to bring the Doctor back to their side, say, rule the world with us, Doctor, you can have power of Almighty Time Lord back again. And that's what really makes this episode so good. So the designs for these creatures are absolutely awesome as anything, I really think so. The bat-like designs are awesome, and especially in flight, it's great. Granted, 2006, have they dated well? I don't think they're too bad. I think they're still pretty good to watch, still believable and still entertaining as ever. And I love it even more now, looking at it in my adult eyes, even more as a kid when I watched it in my younger eyes. What this episode really explores is what happens to a Doctor when he leaves his companions. Why does he leave his companions? And I think this is a perfect fit for the season finale of Season 2, Doomsday. And if you haven't seen Doomsday, well, it's got a big ending to it. But I suppose the last thing you have to talk about with this episode is Rose Tyler. What do I think about Rose in this story? I don't really like it. I'm not a massive fan of Rose, to be honest with you. I feel like in this episode she was a bit too clingy and a bit too mardy when the Doctor started talking to Sarah Jane. I know the remarks she made to her, and even though they really make up later in the episode, you know, when we're making fun of the Doctor as he plays with his TARDIS, it's just not enough. I feel like Rose needs to be more mature, and that's probably one of my main complaints of the main character of Rose throughout Season 1 and 2. But apart from that, I think this episode has a really great story and introduces these old-time companions fantastically, and introduces the world of New Who to Classic Who. And it also has some fantastic villains, and apart from Rose being like she is, and Mickey just being there, I never made a joke about it in this episode, but apart from him just being there, it was a really great episode, and it's an episode Classic Who fans, New Who fans can watch and just enjoy. Even if you're not just a casual viewer, you will still enjoy this episode. So I have to give this episode an 8.5 out of 10. So remember, we have another 4 reviews for School Reunion, so 4 more opinions about the story, so do not go just yet. Now, take it away, Charlie.
Hey guys, so my thoughts on the School Reunion. Yeah, it's a really good episode. One of my favourites. I love the return of Sarah Jane, even though I had no idea who she was when it first broadcast. I loved K9. I liked the design of Quiltains, but really what makes this episode stand out is Anthony Head as Mr. Phil. Mr. whatever he was called, I can't remember. Someone correct me please. Anyway, if I was to rate this episode, 9 out of 10 or 8.5, I haven't worked that out yet. If we ever review this, I'll decide then. See you guys next time, and peace.
Hey there guys, Adam Fishwick here. I want to say another thank you to Aaron, who does all things Doctor Who, for letting me do another review. And today I'm reviewing School Reunion. Okay guys, I got to make this review nice and short because last time I was very long and we had a bit of trouble to upload it, so this time I'm going to be nice and short. And if you haven't seen the survival review, I suggest that you should go and check it out. This is a very perfect story to introduce Sarah Jane to the modern era fans, and K9 as well. For those people who are new to Doctor Who and don't know who Sarah Jane is, I suggest that you should go back and watch some classic Who with Sarah Jane in, and also check out her spin-off Sarah Jane Adventures. It's a great series. It starts off with the Doctor and Rose undercover as a teacher and a dinner lady. So the Doctor, Rose, Mickey and Sarah Jane investigate from what's going on in the school, and it turns out that the headmaster and the teachers are Clementines. And I also like to point out that Anthony Head plays the headmaster so well. He's one of my favourite top 10 actors. And Rose finds out a secret from the Doctor. For those who haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but for those who have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But unfortunately, I can't keep going on because I could go on forever. I really would love to talk more about this story, but as I said, I got to keep this short. And all in all, I gotta give this story a strong 9 out of 10. The performances of the characters are amazing, top story, and I suggest that you should go and watch it.
Hello guys, my name's Alex Goddard and I'm here today to tell you my opinions on School Reunion for Aaron's YouTube channel. Aaron, it's a pleasure to do this and I cannot wait to get stuck in with this review. So, let's get started with the review on School Reunion. Now my honest opinions on this episode was just really light-hearted and very enjoying episode. The most important thing which I really liked was the Doctor's and Sarah Jane's powerful relationship of how they've been reunited again, and ever since that the Doctor has left Sarah Jane, it almost left a hole in his heart. But now since Sarah Jane has been reunited with the Doctor, it's almost like the Doctor has so much enjoyment, and you can almost see so much happiness inside the Doctor's heart now. He becomes so happy whenever he sees Sarah Jane again, and it's just a really special moment for the Doctor as well as with Sarah Jane. Of course we have to mention K9, just a fantastic addition to the Doctor, and he's such a great companion, and he's just such a good dog, and he does something really courageous in the final moments of the episode where he basically saves the Doctor's and Sarah Jane's life from the school being exploded from the oil, really. But he did such a fantastic role in this, of acting such as, you know, the aid towards the Doctor and becoming such a helping hand. And I really love K9 just coming back into this, just came flowing in loads of old memories of K9 becoming so useful and how the Doctor used him. And it was just so fantastic just to see them both being reunited with the Doctor again. Oh, it was just fantastic. And I do like the powerful and sinister dramatic dialogue between Mr. Finch and the Doctor. Two evil races, the Quilitanes and the Time Lords, on having just both of them having that dynamic dialogue between them both just creates such an intense atmosphere that wondering that this Mr. Finch actually wants to form an alliance with the Doctor, and it just creates such a powerful, sinister but very intriguing atmosphere whenever they talk to each other about the races, the Time Lords, about this entire planet. They create so much an intense atmosphere, and I just really enjoy it. And one of the best things I like about this is that will the Doctor ever leave Rose, or ever will leave Sarah Jane again? And so this was the point where Rose got a bit jealous in the middle of the episode, where the Doctor mentioned Sarah Jane and how Sarah Jane used to be more of a loving character, whereas Rose, she felt a bit left out whenever Sarah Jane was reunited with the Doctor again. And so yeah, they were almost having a competition on who wanted the Doctor most, and like it was almost like a love competition for the affection of the Doctor. Like, no, the Doctor's mine. And so yeah, it was really like a love competition, but I really enjoyed the kind of chemistry between the Doctor and Sarah Jane, but also the chemistry between the Doctor and Rose, because as they had their little scene where you wither and you die, you can spend the rest of your life with me, and just that sort of scene, just where you see that the Doctor doesn't really leave somebody behind, but in that moment where the Doctor kind of gave up on, well, basically didn't give up, but left Sarah Jane, and she left the TARDIS, would that have an effect on Rose's life and how she would leave the TARDIS, or whether she would leave the Doctor? And so that sort of would have an effect to like the finale part on, in series 2, and so that sort of had an effect on that. And so yeah, I really enjoyed this entire episode, and of course loads of insults again, physics. The Tin Dog as Mickey Smith. Mickey the Idiot is becoming the Tin Dog. It's just such a really joyful and a very enjoying story. Not to take me wrong though, it's just a fantastic story. Just to see Sarah Jane and K9 be reunited with the Doctor again, it's just a powerful and fantastic episode. I really do like the Krillitanes in this. I think that's so underrated. I think they should appear again, because I really want to understand their entire race a bit more, just to intrigue myself with a bit more content behind their race. So yeah, Mr. Finch is just a really sinister character, and I really enjoyed his role in this entire episode. And of course the Doctor, as again, always serious at the top, but again having the happiness, bringing back so many old memories of Sarah Jane being reunited again. It's just a really powerful episode, and it's just one of the best episodes that we've had, for Modern Who. Just to show how, companions get to reunite with their Doctor. It's just really fantastic, and I had to give this a 9.5 out of 10, because it's just really fantastic. I always may rate it maybe a 10 out of 10, because it's just really fantastic. I have to say that I'm really enjoying these reviews, Aaron. So if there's any point where you're doing another review, please let me know, because I'm just really enjoying these reviews. So thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed the rest of the video. So I'll see you guys later. Over to you.
Hey guys, my name is Alex Patterson. I'm from the Doctor Who Guide and All Things Doctor Who. Thank you so much for having me on the channel. And hey, if you're not subscribed to All Things Doctor Who yet, what are you doing? Smash that subscribe button, because he's got incredible, awesome content. He's always bringing in the opinions of other WhoTubers, so definitely subscribe. I am super excited today because we'll be talking about the third episode of Series 2, and that is Doctor Who School Reunion. Now this episode is awesome. I absolutely love it. I rate it a 9 out of 10. Now I love this episode because I believe that it follows a foolproof recipe, and that is 1 part classic Doctor Who and 1 part new Doctor Who. I believe that a Doctor Who episode is really at its best when it brings in the brilliant elements that worked in the classic series that were timeless, and they bring the new effects and the new wonderful creative writing that they can achieve in the new series, and they combine those two things together. So I loved all the classic elements that were brought back in this episode, and I loved how they didn't stop there. They created their own new aliens and their own plots, and by combining the two, they reached new heights. The writer of this amazing episode is Toby Whithouse. He wrote The Vampires of Venice in Series 5, he wrote The God Complex in Series 6, he wrote A Town Called Mercy in Series 7, and most recently he wrote Under the Lake Before the Flood. Is that correct? Yes, Under the Lake and Before the Flood in Series 9. The reason we should be paying attention to him and his episodes is because he's coming back. He is slated to write episode 8 of series 10 of Doctor Who. I'm really happy that they have Toby Whithouse coming back. While I don't like all of his episodes, I always come back to this, my favorite Toby Whithouse episode, and it gives me hope that he's going to do a similar thing with the 8th episode of series 10. Now, I personally think that School Reunion is one of the best episodes that you can use to introduce classic series to the new series of Doctor Who. You've got to watch this episode as a classic series fan, and if you've seen the episode, you know exactly what I'm talking about and why it's so awesome. It's also backed by incredible acting. You've got Anthony Head, Elizabeth Sladen, Billy Piper, David Tennant, and John Leeson. You've also got Noel Clarke. It's just lovely to see all of these companions sort of having this realization like, wait a second, what is my role in the Doctor's life? And that's a really cool theme that they play around with, which is what happens to companions at the end of their runs. Do they survive? Do they go on to live happy lives? Do they regret their choices? Another element that I loved in this episode was the element of the Doctor's longevity. So, I'm 19. I feel like that's old, but I know for the majority of people on this planet, that's not that old. You know, we all wish that we could live forever, right? Or at least live for a long time. When we see this character, the Doctor, I think that's part of the appeal, is we all wish that, you know, at the end of a long and happy life, we could regenerate and just get a new body again and, you know, be a newer, better person. And what this is showing us is the downside of living for a long period of time, and that's that not everybody else does. And so that element of, you know, having to say goodbye to the people that you used to know, that's really tough. And I really feel like David Tennant acted it brilliantly, and Elizabeth Sladen and Billy Piper. This episode, of course, was really well balanced with, of course, brilliant comedy. I just really love this episode. So yeah, that's my opinion on this episode. Those are kind of my thoughts. I'm super excited to hear all things Doctor Who's opinion on this episode. Hope this review has encouraged you to watch this episode or rewatch it again. My name is Alex Patterson. I'm from the Doctor Who Guide. Thank you so much for having me on the channel, All Things Doctor Who, and definitely subscribe to this channel because he's got incredible content and I look forward to seeing more of your reviews. Bye.
That is it, guys. That is School Reunion completed. Check one off the list, and the next review we'll be doing is Inferno, so look out for that. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. We love making these videos and I hope you love watching them. So in the comments, tell us what you would want us to review one time and maybe we will do it. Subscribe to all these amazing Whovians, Alex from the Doctor Who Guide, Alex Goddard, and even Adam. So remember, subscribe. They are amazing, we make really amazing content and you will not regret it. Anyways, we'll see you in the near future and thank you very much for watching. See ya.